Hi again, everyone. Chris Tisdell here again. Thanks for tuning in. And before I get started, happy Pi Day. Yes, it's Pi Day. Now, to celebrate, I'm going to do another video on my beginners calculus section. And in particular, we're going to look at some inequalities and how to solve inequalities. So we're going to look at this kind of problem. Okay, so you have some absolute value signs there. You've got, say, x minus a, where a is a number, is less than b. So here is an example, right? So a is 2, b is 4. Now, I'll step you through some examples and I'll give you some geometric understanding of what this inequality actually means. Okay, so in that yellow box, I've got two ways of solving this problem for x. One is through algebra, and the other one is through geometry. And in both cases, whichever case you choose, you make x the subject to solve the problem. Okay, so let me start with an example. Let me just start with an example here, down the bottom. Now I'll draw a picture in a minute. Okay, let me just reset my document camera. Okay, here we go. All right, so here is a standard question. Solve this inequality for x. Now, what does this inequality actually mean? Well, what we're looking for are the points x that lie no more, or actually that lie less than 4 units away from the number 2. Remember, absolute value has to do with distance. In this case, it's the distance between a point x and the point 2, and that distance has to be less than 4. So we've got to find the x points that satisfy this. So let me say that again. We want to find the x points that are less than 4 units away from the number 2. So in this case, it would be, we want to find the x points that are b units, that are less than b units away from the number a. Okay, so let me draw a picture first, and then I'll do the algebra. Okay, so there's two ways of doing this problem. All right, so the first way is just to draw a little number line. I'm going to put 2 in there, and you'll go 4 units that way and 4 units that way, because essentially we want all those points that are within, that are less than 4 units away from 2. Okay, so if I go 4 units that way, I get to -2, and if I go 4 units that way, I get to +6, and 0 might be in the middle there. Okay, so because I've got a less than, I don't want to include the points that are exactly 4 units away. So I've got open dots there, and I can see from my number line that the solution to this would be x between -2 and +6. Okay? That was pretty easy, right? All we had to do was break down the original inequality to involve some distance and then draw a little number line. Pretty easy, right? So that's the visual or geometric way of doing things. Let's do things algebraically now. Okay, so from inequality star, what I'm going to do is remove the absolute values and write the inequality. And then I'm going to put another inequality on the left-hand side and change the sign of the 4 to a -4. So what I've got here is I've got two inequalities that are sort of combined here. Now, where does this come from? It's just the property of the absolute value function. And I have videos on the absolute value function. So what I want to do now is rearrange this. I'll add 2 everywhere. So that will become x, that will become 6. And this -4 plus 2 is -2. And I get the same thing as over here, which is what you would expect. Okay? So, geometric way of doing it through distance, algebraic way of doing it through breaking the absolute value function down. Should we do another one? Let's do another one. Solve this inequality for x. Okay, well, this is probably easier to do algebraically, but I'll do it in a geometric form as well. The difference here is that I've got a 3x here, so I want to manage the 3 away. I can do that by dividing everything in on both sides of the inequality by positive 3. Okay, so we have x minus 2/3 is less than 4 on 3. Okay, so I've got fractions there now, but I can at least see geometrically what's going on here. We want all those x points that are less than 4/3 of a unit away from the number 2/3. Okay, so let's draw another number line. I'll put in 2/3 there. And if I go 4/3 that way, I get 2/3 plus 4/3, which is 6/3, which was 2. And if I go 2/3 that way, 4/3 that way, I'll get negative 2/3 and 0 something in there. Now again, a strict inequality, so I don't want the points that are exactly 4/3 of a unit. And this is my interval. So we would have from our number line, x is less than 2, but greater than negative 2/3. Okay, let's do the algebraic way. Now, the algebraic way is nice because you don't have to manage the 3 away. You can do it later. Okay, so, oops, there we go. All right, so from star. Okay, so let's remove the absolute values. Put in an extra sign and change the sign on the 4. Now let's make x the subject. So add 2 to both sides. So that'll become negative 2 there and 6 there. So divide everything by 3. So I'll get 2 over here. All right, fantastic. Fantastic. So, geometric way, algebraic way. Now you should choose the method that works for you best. Some people are visual, some people are perhaps a bit more algebraic. It's up to you what is quick and easy and effective for your learning. Now, if I had something like this, what does this mean? Well, I've got a plus sign here, but I can still think of it as distance by writing the +1 as negative 1. Okay, so this is all those x points that are less than 2 units away from the point -1. Okay, so that's how to interpret that. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, any comments, I would love to hear them. Once again, happy Pi Day, happy Pi Day. Enjoy the day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.